Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsroom series right here on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Today our focus is on the Southwest region. But first, before we delve into that, let's give you our top stories in the course of the day. We started from the Federal High Court in Abuja, where Justice Mohammed Umar has turned down the application by the presidential candidate of the Action Alliance of Nigeria, Oriire, seeking a long adjournment of his trial in the alleged defamation of President Bola Tinubu filed against him by the Department of State Services. Mr. Showore had applied through his lawyer, Raphael Adakole, that his defense in the charge be shifted till after the court's annual vacation. His counsel asked for the adjournment on the ground that the lead counsel, Olumide Fushika, was out of the country. His request was, however, opposed by counsel to the DSS, Mr. Akinlolu Kehinde, who drew the attention of the court to 10 previous adjournments the trial suffered at the instance of the defendant. The senior lawyer drew the attention of the court to the day-to-day accelerated trial granted by the court in line with the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice System 2015, adding that granting 2 months adjournment would be against the earlier order of the court. In a brief ruling, Justice Umar turned down the long adjournment application based on the previous order of the court. The judge subsequently ordered the defendant to be in court on July the 16th for continuation of his defense in the charge. In Anambra State, the State Police Command has arraigned the alleged owner and publisher of Igbo Times magazine and iNews, Mr. Ejike Ofwebu, at the Chief Magistrate Court, Awka, over allegations of publishing false and defamatory reports against the family of the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo. The arraignment followed the conclusion of police investigations into the matter. According to the Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Tochukwu Ikenga, the case followed the command's receipt of the suspect from the Department of State Services and the completion of investigations into a petition alleging the publication of fabricated and untrue information capable of damaging the reputation of the governor's family and inciting public disaffection. The command said it would refrain from making further comments on the case to avoid prejudicing the ongoing judicial process. As the families of the rescued pupils and teachers from Oriire local government area of Oyo State eagerly await their formal handover by the military to the Oyo State government, there are indications that they may be reunited with their loved ones today. Governor Seyi Makinde, who visited the victims on Saturday, said they would remain under medical observation for 48 hours before being formally handed over to the state government. He explained that the observation period will enable medical experts to properly assess their physical and emotional condition before they are reunited with their loved ones. According to the governor, some of the children had repeatedly asked to see their parents after regaining their freedom. The expected reunion comes barely days after the federal government announced the successful rescue of all the pupils and teachers who were kidnapped on May the 15th this year, when armed men invaded Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawota LA Primary School, and Community Grammar School, Ahore Siele, all in Oriire local government area. Governor Makinde says he's optimistic that the military will complete the assessment today and grant them clearance to return home. Meanwhile, the Oyo State government has reiterated its readiness to partner with the federal government to secure and restore the old Oyo National Park, while traditional rulers in Oriire have renewed calls for improved security, saying the abduction exposed significant gaps and fault lines in the area's security architecture.
Governor Makinde, the rescued pupils and their teachers will remain under.
Now, some days after the rescue of abducted teachers and pupils in Oriire local government area of Oyo State, suspected kidnappers have allegedly struck again, abducting the headmaster of Nomadic Basic School in Igbojaye in Itesiwaju local government area of Oyo State. Now, the victim, Mr. M.K. Owade, was reportedly kidnapped on Sunday, raising fresh concerns over the security of teachers and residents in the state, despite the successful rescue operation in Oriire. Now, confirming the incident, the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Teachers in Itesiwaju local government, Mrs. Folashade Fabi, said the headmaster was abducted by unidentified gunmen on Sunday. The successful rescue of teachers and pupils kidnapped in Oriire local government had raised hopes of improved security in Oyo State. However, sadly, the latest abduction is likely to renew concerns over the safety of teachers, pupils and other residents, particularly in communities in rural areas vulnerable to attacks by kidnappers. As at the time of filing this report, no official confirmation has been made by the Oyo State Police Command over the incident. Right, so let's get more on this. Security expert Dixon Osage joins us on the program Newsroom series. He joins us via Zoom. Great to have you again on the program, Dixon Osage. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Ayotunde.
Yes, so the victims of the abduction in Ogbomoso are set to be reunited with their families after spending over 50 days in captivity. Now, many question why they stayed that long. Do you think this could have been resolved or done much sooner?
Well, for me, I think it was a very good move by the federal government, and we must give kudos to the Nigerian military, the DSS, the police, and other security agents that came together to carry out this rescue mission, and also the Major General that led and coordinated this rescue mission. And I want to let you know that this is a very sensitive operation because they must be very careful about the life and well-being of the pupils and teachers in captivity, and so they will want to go there without being properly prepared to ensure that these guys, don't eliminate these pupils from school. So for me, I think we need to appreciate this, our government security forces. This is the first time I personally have seen a rescue mission that sends the message to this terrorist group that there is no room for negotiation moving forward. It is either you let our people be or we come after you from the east, west, and north with all our military assets. I could see the military assets that were deployed within this community, and as well the personnel and also one or two officers who paid the supreme price a line of duty. This is a reminder that our education is under threat, and we must ensure that we cut off this threat bedeviling our country. I must tell you, it was a fantastic one from the government, and I appreciate the presidency for a fantastic job. A lot of Nigerians are trying to get information. How was it carried out? How did they do it? It's not the business of us to. It's not our business to know. What matters most is for us to see that these guys have been rescued. Because if you put out much information, if you put more information out there, I tell you, it's also going to be to the detriment of our government security forces. Should there be any futuristic rescue mission? So information management of this operation is very essential, and I appreciate the Nigerian military for a fantastic job.
Interesting one, Dixon, of course. Now, almost immediately after that success, reports have emerged of the alleged abduction of a school headmaster in the Tesawaju local government area. What message does this send about the evolving security landscape in the region at this moment in time?
Well, I think it's not going to send any message. And I think these guys have a plan B or a second plan. They knew that the Nigerian government is coming for them. And I strongly believe maybe one or two of their criminal cell will want to say, okay, if they successfully rescue these people, let's go for this XYZ teacher or headmaster. So for me, I think it's a failure on their part, and the failures, not the Nigerian government, because we must not, put or try to politicize this or see it as a governance failure, even though I strongly believe as a security professional that the government needs to start putting in strategy to ensure that such kind of criminal activities or kidnapping, does not occur in our given environment. And as well, I will advise the Ministry of Education to revisit the Safe School Declaration that Nigeria was a signatory to in Oslo, Norway, as of 2015. That Safe School Declaration makes it very clear with some of its protocols that the students and teachers are meant to go to school without being intimidated or being coerced. So the protection of our children and teachers is paramount, and it's also a necessity by the government. So the government must see how they, implement the protocols of the Safe School Declaration. It talks about the perimeter of the schools, talk about the protection of the school, the security architecture and security design, the delay mechanism, whereby these guys don't just go to the school and just cut away Nigerians freely without being delayed, with some deterrence measures in place to ensure that the security agent can fly down or come in with helicopter or pursue them after the commission of crime or during the commission of crime. So for me, I think it's a very good one, but the Safe School Declaration, I think the Ministry of Education to send a circular out there that every schools, state governments should start implementing the Safe School Declaration so that our children will be able to go to school without being coerced or being intimidated by this unnecessary and criminal human being in our country, Nigeria.
Which brings us to the next question, Dixon. Does this pattern suggest that criminal groups are now adapting their tactics, or can we say these are isolated incidents?
Well, it's an isolated incident, but I must tell you that kidnapping is flourishing. Why was it flourishing? Because of the ransom payment. You know, the past administration were so swift to release ransom to most of these criminal elements, and it was so, it was so dangerous to the survival of our country, Nigeria. So when we cut off negotiation and ransom payment from this criminal element, I think it's going to demoralize and demotivate their plan, because no criminal group or criminal gang want to plan or go out to carry out criminal activities and fail. So they want to go succeed, get what they want to get, and sometimes they request for billions of naira to go and get some armaments and refuel, and their build as well, have a lot of ammunition to get back at the state. So when you pay terrorists ransom, you are also paying them to attack you in nearest time. So let's see how we draw the line. It's a no-no, and the administration has stated very clearly that they're not going to pay ransom. So let's start with that and ensure that we build a formidable rescue mission team across the 36 states of the Federation, Ayotunde. Look at what went right here in Oyo State. What is expected for the Nigerian government to do is to draw some personnel from the military, the police, the DSS, the NIA, DIA, all together and form a commando-style rescue mission team or anti-terrorism rescue mission team, and have them based in every state geopolitical zone, or perhaps in every state, so that if there is a call to the command control center that there is a crime in progress or kidnap action in progress, or they've kidnapped one or two students, this rescue team can go all out and envelope this criminal element to ensure that they cannot escape with these people. Fantastic job from our government security forces, and I'm very proud of the Nigerian military. Yeah.
We'll certainly leave it at that. Dixon Osage, security expert, thank you so much for your thoughts on Newsroom Series.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations to the released.
Moving on now, the immediate past Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has visited victims of the inferno at Bode Market in Molete, Ibadan, to commiserate with them over their losses. During the visit, Mr. Adelabu sympathized with traders whose shops and goods were destroyed in the fire outbreak, and assured them that all hands will be on deck to support them get back on their feet. He encouraged the affected traders not to lose hope, but believed that their businesses will be restored with the help of the government and well-meaning individuals within the state. Mr. Adelabu donated some cash as relief to the traders, even as he also called on relevant agencies to investigate the cause of the fire and put preventive measures in place across major markets in the state.
We thank God, we give glory to Almighty Allah that no life was lost during the incidents, and I'm so happy that to hear that, and I also came to contribute my little token to soften the impact of this fire incident on those affected, which have just dropped for the Babaloja and the Iyaloja. My advice them, what I first talked about is to call on the state government to ensure that this market is rebuilt. It's an old market, it's been there for so long, and I believe it is due for a modernization. This market is supposed to be modernized so that the shops will be rebuilt and it will be given back to the owners at little or no cost. And beyond that, all the necessary modern amenities should be provided in this market. There should be 24/7 electricity for the market. I once gave them solar lights here, which they are using, and I believe that government should do that. There must be portable water for the users of this market, and every other thing that will make life easy for the users of this market.
When we return after the break on Newsroom Series, it's off to Ondo State, where the NDLEA, in partnership with the DSS, host a public lecture. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching Newsroom Series, and we're in the southwest region of the country. Well, in case you've always wondered why the high rate of crime in Nigeria and why does it continue to persist? Well, this situation has been attributed majorly to the level of drug abuse, cultivation and trafficking. The Director of the Department of State Services, the DSS, in Ondo State, Samaila Sagir, stated this while delivering a public lecture in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
Drug abuse remains one of the major drivers of crime and insecurity, a challenge stakeholders say requires a united response. That concern brings together security agencies, government officials, youth groups and other stakeholders at a public lecture organized by the Ondo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Held in honor of the agency's retiring state commander, the lecture examines the theme, Drug Abuse and Trafficking and Emerging Crime, the need for interagency collaboration for national development.
If we are bringing his people to celebrate with us, for him to feel that well.
Delivering the keynote lecture, the Director of the Department of State Services in Ondo State, Samaila Sagir, says that many crimes committed across the country are linked to drug abuse.
Virtually all the crimes we are facing in this country have a link with drug abuse. Most of the criminals we arrested, we the various security agencies, in the course of debriefing, you find out that they commit such acts under the influence of drugs.
The president of Akure Youth Association, Oluwatuyi Adekombi, commends the outgoing commander for his contributions to the fight against illicit drugs in the state.
As a man that the state will always remember, particularly the youth of the state, because he has really affected many lives positively. Instead of jailing all these boys, haven't caught them with the drugs, he will tell them that he stands to gain nothing by jailing you boys. I want you to turn a better leaf.
Reflecting on his tenure, the outgoing commander of the NDLEA in Ondo State, Nanzing Salah, describes the journey as challenging but rewarding, expressing gratitude for the support received from stakeholders throughout his service.
The challenging time, of course, is part of human life, but as a law enforcement officer, you know, we are up and doing, and especially with our training, is meant to sharpen us. So the training has been a very vital tool in overcoming our challenges, and as I've said, with the help of other law enforcement organizations and my colleagues and other stakeholders, it has been much more easier.
Participants say the lecture has reinforced the need for sustained public awareness, stronger partnerships, and greater community involvement in tackling drug abuse and the crimes associated with it.
The Lagos State Civil Service Commission has reaffirmed its commitment towards strengthening governance and continually improving the conditions of the state public service. Speaking at the Commission's 2025-2026 summit, Chairman of the Commission, Mrs. Boladele Dapo Thomas, says government is determined to raise the bar of excellence in Lagos State.
Lagos State heads of commissions, state lawmakers and other key stakeholders gather in GRA area of the state for the year 2025-2026 summit of statutory commissions and boards in Lagos State Public Service. The annual program kicked off with a call for stronger partnerships in advancing an equitable, transparent and future-ready public service workforce in the state.
Building a public service that is dynamic, efficient, effective, productive, transparent, innovative, and future-ready requires collective effort, shared vision, and sustained collaboration amongst all institutions entrusted with public administration and particularly human resource management.
We must continually foster synergy, strengthen strategic partnership, and uphold the highest standards of transparency, accountability, and integrity in all our operations. By working in unison, aligning our goals and embracing a shared vision of service excellence, we will not only be sustaining our leadership position, but we'll also be building a more resilient, innovative, and citizen-centric, agile, and future-ready public service.
Other speakers at the event harped on the need to leverage on the use of technology for an effective and productive workforce.
There is a great need
for us to aggressively automate our human resources processes. This includes implementing data-driven workforce planning, leveraging AI-powered performance analytics, and maintaining a centralized database for all public servants.
A lawmaker from the State Assembly charged the State Civil Service Commission to sustain excellence in Lagos State and also assures of implementing policies that will strengthen the state public service.
This summit, therefore, is not just an internal exercise for the Commission and Board. It is a shared investment in the future of public governance in Lagos State. Let me also use the opportunity to reassure the Civil Service Commission and all the commissions and board gathering here of this continuing support of the House Committee on Establishment, Training, Pension and Public Service. Where legislative action is required to strengthen your mandate, we stand ready where policy alignment is needed between the executive and legislature.
Participants at the summit are expected to collectively explore practical solutions to strengthening institutions, shape a more resilient and future-ready public service for Lagos State.
In Ogun, the state government, in collaboration with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, has given out over 279 hectares of developed farmland to youth and women without lands under the Sustainable Land Development Initiative of the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones Program. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security says the intervention is part of efforts aimed at transforming the agricultural sector into a major driver of economic growth, job creation and food security. The initiative currently covers 3 participating local government areas: Udogbolu, Obafemi Bode and Yewa North.
Access to land and land clearing remain major impediments to effective and productive agricultural practice, especially for smallholder farmers. To ease the burden on farmers in the Udogbolu local government area, the Ogun State government is collaborating with the International Fund for Agricultural Development to bridge the infrastructure gap. This program will provide beneficiaries with access to developed, productive and climate resilience farmland to boost production, improve livelihoods and strengthen rural economic development.
As we continue the implementation of other components of this program, I assure you all that the state program coordinating units remain committed to delivering impactful interventions that will enhance agricultural productivity, improve rural income, strengthen food system, and contribute meaningfully to the economic development of Ogun State.
All this program is geared towards ensuring that we have sustainable agricultural practices, to ensure that there's abundance when it comes to food productivity, to ensure that our youth are fully engaged, to create employment for our teeming youth, to stimulate economic development of our various clusters.
Chairman of Udogbolu local government area, Babatunde Dia, says arrangements are in place to ensure adequate security for the new farmers.
Food insecurity definitely goes hand in hand with communal security, and we're very intentional about that. And by the special grace of God, we'll be able to keep, our youth and women safe and enable them to practice their farming in peace.
Each farmer is allocated 1 hectare of cleared land free of charge. The beneficiaries will also be linked to market through off-takers for their produce.
It's going to improve our economic well-being by helping the youths who are just helpless and jobless out there. With this, we can keep ourselves busy to do one or two things.
This is a laudable program for our people. If we have 4 or 5 of these in Ogun State, we have enough food, we have enough energy, and everything will be easy. The high price of food will come down, so people will stop complaining. So let all of us go to the farm and start farming, so that we reduce the pressure on food.
If properly harnessed, this initiative is expected to boost food production, youth participation in agriculture, as well as job creation across the various value chains.
Health experts and other stakeholders have raised concerns over the increasing cases of burnout and mental health challenges in Nigeria, warning that substance abuse could further worsen the situation if left unchecked. Speaking at the ICUD summit in Ado-Ekiti, the participants examined issues bordering on wellness, productivity and mental health, stressing the importance of preventive measures, early intervention and greater public awareness. The experts also highlighted the medical, legal and social implications of drug abuse, noting that the misuse of hard drugs can aggravate mental health conditions, reduce productivity and place additional burden on families and society, while they also urged Nigerians to embrace healthy lifestyles.
There are so many dangers in it, and why we are not encouraging the usage of drugs. We are saying that even though you're using drugs, there are steps you can take to ensure you find your way back to yourself. Because if the problem has driven you to use drugs, if you find a way to make sure that those problems are no longer there, you will not have to use drugs. If you have been using drugs as a coping mechanism because your economy is bad, and then you wake up one morning and you decided, okay, what needs to move now for my economy to improve? You identify like 3 or 4 priorities and you take steps.
I said drug abuse is just a temporary relief to the problem at hand. It does not give a permanent relief. And then the effect of the drug is even more than what you're trying to cure. So if you are using drugs to cure stress, you're adding to your problem because the ripple effect of drug addiction is even worse than the burnout or the stress you're going through. So I'll say that people should look for the natural way of distressing, which is taking the necessary rest, taking a trip, going to the spa to rest, rather than going for the temporary relief of the drug abuse.
And that's a wrap on Newsroom series. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.